resolved that the board reconvenes public session. Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Back in public session.
Individuals wishing to speak must state their name and address. Comments are limited to 3 minutes duration, but an individual may speak a second time after all others who wish to speak on the topic have been heard. Oh, I'm sorry. So I'm getting ahead of myself. No student representation, president's report. Okay. President's report, August 12, 2021. This summer, Piscataway Schools opened its doors to over 1,600 students in its academic programs. Some of our students opted to continue their summer work virtually, while others attended in person. Some of our programs were by invitation only, as we focused our efforts on students who may have experienced learning loss over the past year and a half. Our academic assistance program was aimed at students who needed to be brought up to grade level, while academic boosters focused on students who we felt would benefit from the review. Our credit recovery program allowed middle school and high school students an opportunity at no financial cost to recover and receive credits for courses where they did not meet the requirements during the 2020-2021 school year. Our success rate here was measurable, with 101 out of 144 PHS students successfully completing all courses and 54 middle school students out of a total of 60 students successfully completing their courses, and now moving on to Piscataway High School. We also offered classes to students who wanted an academic stretch. Students in academic enrichment took a sneak peek into what they would learn in the upcoming school year in math, ELA, or both. More than 500 students took advantage of this program. And more than 300 students enrolled in AP Institute, testing the waters to see if they wanted to take a more rigorous course selection or getting a jump start on courses they will be tested on in May. For our special education students, the extended school year program provides for special education and related services beyond the regular school year. The primary goal of the ESY program is to prevent or impede regression caused by an interruption in the school year. Instruction targets IEP goals, reinforcing and maintaining what the students already has mastered. The school year, the program serviced 175 students aged 3 through 21. That ends the president's report. Superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to start my superintendent's report with a presentation from the C&I department. Every year we have to update certain curricula, and Dr. Baskerville and his team have done a wonderful job in doing that. They were presented to the curriculum committee and gone through in that fashion. I handed out, after we got back to the executive session, a little brief 3-slide show here, and I will turn it over to Dr. B.
Thank you, Dr. Ranella, and good evening again to everyone. This is really one of the exciting moments of the school year as we look at all of the curriculum updates and the exciting and innovative things that will be taking place in our classrooms. On the first page of the presentation, you'll see a brief synopsis. The New Jersey Department of Education mandates that we are a CUSAC 2 cohort, and all of our curriculum must be aligned to the 2020 New Jersey Student Learning Standards by September 1, 2022. I'm pleased to say that we are well ahead of that. We did the lion's share of the curricular updates this summer to make it a little leaner next year because we didn't want to be behind the 8 ball next year. As a result, 57 curricular updated, courses were updated or aligned across 8 disciplines. Actually, 57 curriculum were updated. And some of the highlights in this year, we had a process. The process included student participation at the middle and high school. We have believed that curriculum should be something that all stakeholders have a hand in, and the students should not necessarily be passive recipients of curriculum, but also active participants in drafting and actually putting together what the curriculum would look like. As such, we put together 2 student groups, 2 focus groups, one in the middle school, one in the high school that we worked with starting around January. And we met with these students. We first met with them in my office. They came to curriculum committee meetings. We put together a bunch from the high school, a bunch from the middle school. And they actually were pretty vocal about some of the things that they wanted to see in the curriculum. So what we did was we allowed them to actually be a part of the curriculum writing process, where they actually came up with certain things that they wanted to see in the curriculum. One of the things that they really were concerned about was that marginalized communities have a voice or be seen in our curriculum. Especially in the ELA department, they really had a thing about they wanted to make some adjustments to the literary canon, and we made sure that we let them know that we will continue to have the classics taught in the high school, but we would augment the literary canon with certain titles, and they were very pleased, and as a result of that, we came up with a lot of titles and books and things were aligned into the middle and high school curriculum as a result of the things that the middle school and high school focus groups put into place. So they actually put things into the curriculum resources, and they actually have things objective, and they actually have things written into the curriculum, and I think that was a wonderful thing that they came with. Some of the common themes that we see across all curriculum is technology. Technology is 21st century methodology, so all 21st century methodology, all curriculum has to have an overarching theme of technology that entered into it, and so that runs across all of our curriculum update. Inquiry-based instruction are themes that run across all 57 curricula, where they are thought-provoking, high-order thinking skills, relevancy, all of those things, problem-solving, inquiry-based instruction. Argumentation is something that is new. Not necessarily new, we've seen it around for quite some time, where you have, for example, expository writing, where you have to come up with a main idea and then you have to support it. Argumentation is something that is going cross-current across all curriculum, where students will have to actually substantiate why they chose the response that they did. Interdisciplinary relationships, we used to call them cross-curriculum connections, and those things were essentially how do you see math, science, social studies, literacy, the arts, how we see those things running across all curriculum. Relevancy, real-world applications, themes across, and of course the latest is social awareness. Well, social awareness has entered into all of our curriculum. One of the things that even in science, for example, you'll see social awareness with climate change, and all of those things are in the curriculum as well. So these were themes that ran across. On the next page, you see the 8 disciplines, and you actually see the courses that were updated, and they're also in your agenda as well. I put an asterisk beside the new courses that were updated, for example, and I'll get into them briefly. Introduction to Computer Science and Mathematics, we did something new there. We also, the world of art, we did something new curriculum added. Integrated science model, we're very excited and pleased and proud of what we're doing there. I will discuss that briefly. On the next page, you will see the world language curriculum that was written. Our total world language curriculum has been updated. There are only 2 things, Chinese and American Sign Language, and I think Dr. Anelli has already spoken about that, but because of the teacher who's on maternity leave and we did not have that, we decided to put that up to next year. But other than that, all of our world language curriculum have been updated and is current. We're introducing something in world language called a SOMOS curriculum, which is something that's going to be new, and it goes across the 3-year matriculation at the high school with the, and we're actually going to do it at all grade levels, but we're focusing primarily with the SOMOS curriculum at the high school. It's digital, and so it is something that is a one-time license fee. I think David will be happy about that. And so when we do that, then those things, we have that. We also just want to bring highlight to the world language because what we did, there's something called the ACTFL standards that world language has to be aligned to. And essentially what the ACTFL standards wants to do is to take world language and move it from the classroom setting and put it into an actual practical meaning and what they call the 5 C's. So we took care of all of that. On the next page, you will see language arts literacy, and then over in practical arts, you will see honors personal finance, new course, Introduction to Digital and Print Communications, a new course. Food and Nutrition 2, a new course. And Personal Finance, New Jersey Student Learning Standards Resource, a new as well. And lastly, on the last page, I would just like to touch on just a couple of highlights. We had so many great things that are in our curriculum. Very excited about what's going to be happening in our schools. And it would just be all night to talk about it. So I said, just let me highlight a couple of things. In the general elective, astronomy, what we wanted to do in astronomy was we wanted to utilize the planetarium. And so we had put money into and done updates to the planetarium. So we wrote into the astronomy curriculum actual utilization of the planetarium would actually have to take place within the planetarium setting. Expanding the computer science program. We're looking at expanding the computer science program down to the middle school in grade 8. And so what we did was we wrote the curriculum for that. We want to try to pilot something in one of the middle schools come January, but we already have the curriculum written there because we think that it's better for the students to start with the computer science program in the middle school and then go to the high school as opposed to beginning it there. We're very pleased about the integrated science. Currently, we have what is called a discipline model in science in the middle school. In grade 6, you have physical science, grade 7, life science, grade 8, earth science. And the problem with that is that, for example, if a student has physical science in grade 6, where you might have chemistry, you're not going to see chemistry again until you hit the high school. So we wanted to move away from a discipline-based approach at the middle school with science into an integrated approach where all 3 of these sciences are taught at every grade level every year. So we've moved along with that as well. We're rolling that out in a 3-year period. We're rolling out in grade 6 this year, grade 7 next year, grade 8 the following year. ELA, climate change in the middle school science, social awareness, we added that to the middle school science, and argumentation and so forth is coming there, and the students are very excited about what they will be doing with that. That also not only aligns to the standards, but it was something that the middle school focus group was interested in as well. ELA, we wrote the kindergarten readers, writers workshop model. We actually wrote the curriculum for kindergarten, and we updated all the other curriculum for the grade levels. The student committee also came up with diverse titles that they wanted to see at various levels, and so we actually purchased those books and we added them to the libraries and the classrooms. The Amistad, Holocaust, Lgbt Crosswalk, we have continuously improved upon that. We rolled that out last year. We made some improvements with that. We kind of honed in the middle school where that needs to be, basically because the mandate says that it starts from the middle school, goes up to the high school, but we also introduced disability more there. Media literacy, we actually turned that around a little bit and we made that more of a 21st century class that focused not only on just certain things like circulation, but we're looking at the media center as the center for the school. The World of Art is the latest thing that we did in art. And what the World of Art is a course that a student can take as opposed to being on a multi-track course. It's an option for a student to take a World of Art course as a standalone course. We're very excited about honors personal finance. Honors personal finance. And Dr. Ranelli will speak about this later as we move more into the year. But honors personal finance, what that does is it satisfies graduation requirements. And we're looking at making that one of the pivotal courses in a Piscataway High School Business Academy in September of 2022. And we're looking at the possibility of having concurrent college credit with Middlesex and Raritan Valley colleges, so that honors personal finance is something that we're very excited about. We changed print production to introduction to digital and print communication, where we introduced digital and hardware and software. Food and nutrition, we added a second course to that. And personal finance, New Jersey Student Learning Resources. What we're doing here in that particular course is that we aligned it and we're pushing that down in the middle school, where according to the mandate, we have to teach personal finance in the middle school level. So what we're doing is we're actually meeting with the middle school principals to put that into the win periods in the middle school, and we're moving that personal finance down to the middle school level. Just a couple of things that's taking place in our schools.
Thank you, Dr. B. Does anybody have any questions for Dr. B or the curricular updates that you'll be approving on tonight's agenda?
Yes, ma'am.
Not necessarily a question, but just a comment that I'd like to make. All the hard work that you've put into this Ms. Cherry being on the curriculum committee, a really, really great job, understanding the fact that we were going through COVID. A lot of work was put into this, and I am so proud of everything that you've done. This, from the LGBTQ, Amistad, Holocaust, incorporating the students' feedback, and then also making sure that we never forget the basics, right? Personal finance, food and nutrition, all of the core, things that everyone has to, be mindful of, right? I mean, the reading, writing, arithmetic, right? Those are the basics, but our personal finance, taking good care of ourselves, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? It's like you need food, you need shelter, you need to take good care of yourself, and I can't be any prouder. You guys have done a phenomenal job, and I just wanted to recognize that.
I think one of the focuses that we have, and I know Dr. B does with his department and really every other department, is we want people to leave Piscataway. What do we want them to leave with in 12th grade, right, throughout the whole progression? And that's being productive citizens, understanding that you make a difference in every situation that you are, and how do you make that situation better, including yourself, right? So, Dr. B, thank you. You and your people, you're always ahead of the curve. When I was in that chair, I didn't do it as good as you did. So I'll give you a lot of credit. I appreciate your work.
Thank you, sir.
I
Thank you,
adhere to that
Dr.
as
B.
well, Dr. B. I just wanted to congratulate you and your team, this board. Student buy-in and inclusion, and knowing they have a vested interest in their own curriculum was tremendous. It was huge. Piscataway is one of the innovators in that area. To also read what Ms. Lang is referred to as well. The integration of sciences, that was amazing, because we know repetition breeds understanding and knowledge, so that was tremendous. Finance is something we've been trying to tackle in this district for years. Students have always said, when they get to reality of what is taxes, what is FICA, I didn't know I had to pay my own laundry, what's a checkbook, and to be able to incorporate that at such a young age and going down to the middle schools and making it productive is tremendous. I mean, because most of us have to learn through the school of hard knocks, and now you can learn through the school of Piscataway. So kudos to you and your team.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. B. And I want to thank Ms. Cherry, who worked so hard with you in the curriculum committee. So thank you again.
Okay, just a quick announcement before I get to some opening things that we need to cover. We will be moving the start of our varsity football games from 7 p.m. on Friday evenings to 6 p.m. And it is a change in what we do, and for the reasons that we decided to do that, I think are tremendous. Really for safety, for getting kids and their families home an hour earlier. There's no conflicts anymore to where there's a freshman game before that or anything like that. And also the away teams really gives them a chance to get another hour on the back end to where they can get home a little more safely. And after school, there's not as much downtime for kids hanging around because a lot of those kids don't come home, don't go home before the game. So just an announcement. I know they're a big social function in the town on Friday evenings, and they will be moved to 6 o'clock from 7 o'clock. So it's just an announcement for everybody to hear. Okay, just wanted to go over some information about our September opening. I wrote some things down. I really didn't want to miss anything. And update our American Rescue Plan. We are very appreciative of everybody's patience and flexibility. I know people might be thinking, well, it's already August 12th and we don't know what's going on. So I appreciate the patience. We've seen throughout this entire pandemic things change from one night to the next. So I feel it would be irresponsible to put out guidelines now, almost sure that they're going to change, and I'm going to have to change them in 10 or 15 days from now. So again, I really appreciate the flexibility. So our guidance is driven by the state guidelines, something called the Road Forward, which is accessible online everywhere, okay? Also, the Department of Education, New Jersey Department of Education broadcasts that we get, we take direct direction and guideline from them. If Governor Murphy makes an announcement, we don't react until we get information from the Department of Education, New Jersey Department of Ed, in a broadcast. So that's just how that kind of works. So things we know as of today, right? It is expected that we have a full-time in-person instruction, and there's not a remote option for families, for kids. Masks must be worn in our school buildings, no matter what your vaccination status is. We know what our responses to any COVID exposure or cases will be, and they will be similar to last year, and we have documents to guide that. And we know that you all need, and we have expectations on how we operate today. Cleaning, socially distanced, lunch, hallways, things like that. So all the district school and school communications will be distributed by the end of next week. Some say it might be a little too early then as well, because it's only the 20th or the 19th, and we still have another week and a half. But I feel it's important that you all have something in your hands to be able to speak to and kind of understand that if it changes, at least we're doing everything we possibly can. So there'll be a lot of district communication. There'll be a district plan that'll be on the website. There'll be school question and answers about the district. There'll be direct district-wide information. So if I have something that would govern all of the schools, right, that information will come from my office. Okay, it'll go to staff, it'll go to families, and then you'll also receive follow-up information from principals that will talk about the logistics of specific schools. What we might have in Quibbletown Middle School might not be the same logistically as we would at Piscataway High School. So those logistical things I'll leave up to the principals to make sure families understand. And then, we'll move forward and be flexible and, make sure we're taking care of everybody in the best way that we can. So again, I'll finish how I started. I appreciate your patience. I'll ask for another week. At least we could feel a little bit more responsible that the information we get out to you is going to stick a little bit more than something that might change. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Rinelli. Personnel and Labor Relations, Mr. Laughlin.
Be it resolved that the following motions, items A through H, be approved as presented.
Second.
Will you take the roll?
Ms. Cherry?
Abstain from B, approval of all the rest.
Mr. Fields?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Laughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Patel?
Yes.
Ms. Scotto?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Hobson?
Yes.
The motion's carried.
Committee reports, Ms. Cherry.
Okay, the Curriculum Committee met on August 2nd, 2021 to discuss the curriculum updates. Compliance. By September 1st, 2022, all New Jersey school districts must be compliant with all new learning standards. Dr. Baskerville reported that we will meet that target. Diversity, our narrative. Kathleen Tanis, along with a group of Piscataway High School students, presented their collaborative work on recommended reading list. Mathematics. Rebecca Dayton reported on high school level course updates. These included applied statistics, honors calculus, intro to computer science, AP Computer Science Principles, and AP Computer Science A. Virtual and Performing Arts. Rebecca Stilacki reported that all VPA curriculum will align with standards by December 2021. 4 courses were updated for September 2021. Acting Studio, High School Band, World of Art, and School of Rock. K-8 Physics Education. Dr. Baskerville presented updates aligned with standards and technology resources. Science K-5. Jeff Celebree presented updated curriculum that includes the state's climate challenge and initiative. Science in middle school. Jeff Celebree presented the upcoming 3-year rollout to integrate science curriculum where students will study all science areas each year. This new design will keep concepts and ideas fresh for students, building knowledge and skills throughout middle school. Science High School. The following courses were updated over the summer to align to new standards: biology, chemistry, astronomy, environmental science, human anatomy, and psychology, AP biology, AP chemistry, AP environmental science, and AP physics, C mechanics. World language. Jeff Celebree presented the updated grades 1 through 8 Spanish curriculum. Dr. Baskerville presented updates to Piscataway High School world languages: Spanish 1 and 2, Spanish 2 honors, Spanish 3, Spanish 3 honors, Spanish 4, Spanish 4 honors, French 3, French 4, Italian 3, Italian 4. Uniformity of course descriptions, including goals and objectives, were achieved through adding leveled readers in synonymous digital curriculum. Social studies. Chris Aravano presented updates to K through 8 curriculum, including the kindergarten curriculum map. Digital resources for grades 4 through 5, Amistad Commission, and Holocaust studies. Teaching for Justice. Dr. Baskerville presented to Piscataway High School curriculum updates, including PHS Academy Honors, U.S. History 2/Law, Law Academy. World Culture Honors, U.S. History 1, U.S. History 2, and U.S. History 2. There was an error there somewhere. Language arts. Dr. Baskerville presented K through 5 curriculum guide, updates reflecting current teachers' college units. Reading lists were updated to include books supporting Holocaust, Amistad, LGBTQ, Crosswalk. Curriculums 4 through 5. Curriculum was updated to include SCL contests. Ms. Tanis presented updates for media literacy to align and meet student needs, and updates to AP curriculum, AP Lit and composition based on recommendation and changes from the College Board, including new text. AP Language and composition was aligned with Law Academy's focus on rhetoric and arguments. Practical art. Robin K. presented new and updated courses. Personal finance was mapped to standards with a pacing guide included. New courses include Honors Personal Finance, Introduction to Print and Digital Communications, Food and Nutrition 2, Honors Accounting, with plans to build a sequence of courses. Textbook adoptions. The following textbooks were recommended for the adoption: Chemistry in a Community, Conceptual Chemistry, Rutgers textbook, and Food and Nutrition. And I would like to thank Dr. Baskerville and the rest of the committee who works with me, and the rest of everyone else who's in curriculum, for all the hard work that went into this presentation, the amount of changes that are coming to the district, and what it does for all of our students, including educating our teachers in fields that they hadn't gone into or actually learned about with all the Amistad and LGBTQ community, but most of all, us all working together for the best interest of the students. And that was my report for tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Cherry. Thank you so much, and thank you for all that you said. Appreciate it. Approval of minutes, Mr. Fields.
Be it resolved that the following minutes be approved as submitted. Business meeting July 8th, 2021. Executive session July 8th, 2021.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Will you take the roll? Oh, you don't have to, that's okay. Thank you. Public comments from the floor. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and school matters of the community interest. In support of this position, the law establishes a period of public comment at every board meeting. Individuals wishing to speak must state their name and address. Comments are limited to 3 minutes duration, but an individual may speak a second time after all others who wish to speak on the topic have been heard. The board may require that individuals register to speak prior to the beginning of the meeting. Participants may submit written material in support of their position. All statements and/or questions shall be directed to the presiding officer, and no participant may address or question board members individually. All speakers are requested to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and privacy rights of others whose legal rights may be affected. Please note, while it is not the board's intention to stifle comment on matters of legitimate concern to the school community, The public should be aware that if their statements violate the rights of others under the law governing defamation or invasion of privacy, they may face personal liability to the injured party. If speakers are uncertain of the legal ramifications of their comments, the board urges them to seek guidance from their own legal advisors. Any comments from the floor? Any comments?
Hello, good evening. I'm William Gonzalez, principal at Quibbleton Middle School. Just wanted to take a moment to come up and let you know I've been elected by the Piscataway Principal and Supervisor Association as the president, and it's a great opportunity for me to work with all of you. Certainly, I have a terrific relationship with Dr. Ranelli and Dr. Baskerville. I'm extremely proud of the opportunity to represent really what I think is the best group of individuals, principals, and supervisors in the state of New Jersey. Certainly, it's under the guidance of the terrific Board of Education, Dr. Ranelli and Dr. Baskerville as well. I know there's a lot of work to be done. I listened to all the work that's been done on the curriculum, all the things we need to do. We are serious about what we do and how we care for our children, the children of Piscataway, and the people that are here. So I want to say thank you for the opportunity to work here in Piscataway, and certainly I am extremely proud to be the president of PPSA. I look forward to working with all of you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Did you have something you want to say?
No, I just wanted to say that I'm looking forward to working with Mr. Gonzalez. We, as he said, we have a great relationship, and you know, as has always been the case, we'll make sure that you know, everything is taken care of in the best manner possible. So, thank you. You have a wonderful group. Really looking forward to working with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Principal Gonzalez. And I just want you to know I enjoyed the graduation this year. You did a phenomenal job, and I appreciate all your efforts. Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Comments from the floor? May I have a motion to close?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Fiscal planning and operation, Mr. Patel.
Be it resolved that the following motions identified as item A through M be approved as presented.
Second.
Madam President,
Yes.
I have a question with regard to item number 8 for Mr. Olivera. Mr. Olivera, a question that I have for you on this particular item is the resolution authorizing the sale of surplus personal property. The number of aged Dodge and Chevrolet vehicles and one steel shipping container. Question is, provided, you know, we take advantage of some upcoming grant opportunities. I know we talked about it, you know, early on when I was asking about the bus purchase, but moving forward for any of these aged vehicles, are we going